You'd never recognize the room. The pictures all have different frames now, and all the chairs are rearranged now. Somehow I've thrown out every souvenir. Yes, there've been changes made since you stayed here. The same address, well, more or less. More happens, less matters, I guess. You'd never recognize my light. The party givers know my name now. And when I cry, it's not the same now. Somehow I never waste a single tear. Yes, there've been changes made since you stayed here.
There's a world beyond reality, a place of light and dark, a world beyond infinity, a realm of mind and heart. It's a shadow world, a fantasy upon which dreams are born, a kingdom where illusions given light and sound and form.
We have an energy that we don't use inside ourselves, I think, that we don't use enough to heal, because people can heal each other. I mean, on a stage, we can do that. Everyone who's an entertainer has that gift, has that power. I'm at an age now where I want to finish my education. I want to learn more, know more, and understand more. Understand what we get from the earth and how much the earth gives us, because I can appreciate so much more now than I could when I was a youngster. When my mother suddenly died, I still felt like a kid. And that hit my life very, very hard, very, very hard. And I went back to church again. Like my Catholic upbringing when I was a child, I'd sort of drifted away from that. But my grandmother kind of took over my mother's job. I always used to spend so long in Sheerness. I'd cycle there 50 miles on my holidays when I was about 12, 13. I'd cycle down there or go down by bus. We couldn't afford the train. The train was a little expensive. She taught me to cook. I could make Yorkshire puddings when I was 11. An English traditional roast. There must be somebody there when a child comes home.
Michael Crawford, president of the Six Children's Trust, postponed travelling to New York for the Broadway production of Phantom of the Opera.
There must be somebody there for a child at all times, talking, sharing your lives, going out together, discovering things, reading the same books, comparing, having some conversation. I just remember a story when I was 7. I had my tonsils out, and my mother was just 5 hours late picking me up from the hospital. And it took me 3 more days at least to recover because of the sort of trauma that I went through, because I thought I'd been left alone and I didn't have anyone to look after me. Now, these children are far, far worse off than having their tonsils out, and they're far braver too. My marriage didn't last, sadly. I felt very vulnerable and lost without her because she'd meant so much to me. But that great love created 2 daughters who I now adore and always have done. But I don't really get lonely. I have friends. You make friends wherever you go. You go all over the world. You cannot keep thinking, oh, my home is where my heart is in London. Otherwise, you end up like two people sitting in a restaurant, having a meal, and you're not talking to each other. You have nothing to say. You see a lot of that. I don't think you can be up unless you've been down. Anyone who's sort of just level all the time is pretty bland. That's pretty boring. You try not to share the depressions too much with too many people. But you have times when you're down, and then through those times you learn to appreciate what is good. And then you enjoy the upper levels too, much more. So you laugh and you cry. You have to in life.